I was working on a lot of things that will translate to how I move on the football field. Yeah. And that's where I think everyone is seeing the difference, is that I'm being more precise with my fundamentals. I'm being more precise with my movements, which is making me seem and feel more agile and more explosive. So I think that's one of the biggest things, is getting down there. I think Tony does a great job with helping guys with form and helping guys understand and train that form in a way that you really see the results over the course of a month to 3 months training with them.
I think a lot of the times in an off season, you're always trying to train and do things to improve on areas of weakness from the season before. And you're trying to train in a way that you're going to be better the following season. And something that happens as you get older is your body changes, and you start to have to realize, like, hey, I can't do this kind of training, or I should start doing more of this because I need to do more of X, right?
Yeah.
And for me, and for every player, you go through this, and you've been in the NFL for a very long time, highly successful. And I think that going and doing this training is you trying to capitalize and move and do things more efficiently and better than you either did them last year, or you're trying to hold on to that. Does this make sense? Like
100%. No, that's what I went down there after watching and feeling just how I got off the ball, how I was in and out of breaks, what my top end speed was. And I went to Tony. I was like, I need to get off the ball a lot more explosive, and I need to get my top end speed back to where guys can respect me going past them. I think that's going to help me out. And then on top of that, just working the fundamentals and in terms of stride, and then just going through his regimen on how to get that out of the guys that are in the building with him. So it was 100% a focus on that, knowing that over the past 2 years, I've come to an understanding that that's what I need to focus on.
Yeah, exactly.
I think, and as I'm getting older, you learn and you start to feel things, get away, or you start to feel things kind of go down. And feeling that after last year, I was like, man, if I just train these things and I get that back a little bit more than what I had last year, I think I can play this game at an even higher level.
And I'll give you like a prime example from my career. Like, we were in Chip Kelly's offense for 3 years, where really what magnified me as a great player in that offense was my speed, explosion, and acceleration. And that's what I trained heavily in the off season. And in the no huddle, you don't have to worry as much about the power of the game because the defense is more fatigued, and the no huddle takes care of a lot of that aspect. The first year we went back to a huddle offense with Doug Peterson, it was apparent, like, oh no, I need to work on my technique in stopping a bull rush more. I need to work on that off season. I reaffirmed strength and squatting heavier and doing things in a different way, because the system that I was in mandated that more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I struggled with certain things the year before. So it's like, of course I'm going to work on those things a little bit harder in that off season. I feel like as you get older, you lose more of the twitchiness and the quick stuff. So you have to do more to retain that stuff moving forward.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, when you're younger, you can just I can just walk out on the football field, didn't even need to warm up, and I can go run full speed right now. As you get older, it's like, oh, I should probably be doing soft tissue stuff. I can't just go out there and do this. And that's something that every player, as you go off in your career, is having to go into those fields more and more and more. So, 100% hear you.
All right, Jason, let's talk about your preseason. And you're still very close with the Eagles, so we'll tie you into a lot of what the Eagles have going on. How did you spend your preseason?
I've been to a few practices. I always like to go back and go to camp. You'll find this out.
My guy just loves football, man. This guy just loves some ball.
You'll see it. You'll see it when you do eventually retire. You miss being in camp. You miss being around the guys. You miss talking football. I was with Joe Thomas this offseason. He said it really well. Like, you build up this wealth of knowledge your whole career, and then all of a sudden it stops, and there's not like an outlet to talk about all these things. And going back to camp gets you talking about football again, gets me around Stout, gets me around the offensive line, gets me around Nick Sirianni, and I get to talk about something that, I built over a decade's worth of experience and knowledge of, and I like to, it's hard to not do that. So I really enjoy. I'm very thankful for the Eagles for letting me go back and get that.
Oh yeah. Well, they'd be silly not to let a fucking perennial all-star, future Hall of Famer, not come back into the building and spit some wisdom, man. Everyone saw you spend a couple of days at Eagles camp with Big Stout, man. How's our guy, Coach Stoutland, doing, man?
I mean, he's the same old guy. Can't fall asleep, like relentless energy. You want to talk about? We just talked about Ashton Gelati's like relentlessness on the defensive line.
Oh yeah.
I feel the same way about coaches, and that's like the one thing that has always stood out to me about Stout is like, he just is relentless. He's never going to stop coaching you. He's never going to let you fall asleep in the meeting. He's always, it's so repetitive. He doesn't get bored of it. He loves doing it, and he's passionate and intense about it.
Were you ever a sleep in the meetings kind of guy? Did you ever just?
I'm not going to say it's never happened, but it was really hard for me to fall asleep in meetings. I'll be on my phone sometimes. If we're going over something I've been over a million times, I might doze off into that. But I was pretty locked in. I was pretty locked in.
You catch me in class, I am fucking snoring. You get me in a football meeting, though, I'm right here with you, Coach.
Well, and part of it's
love talking some ball, baby.
Center has to be dialed in. You know, I mean, they're in charge of a lot of the calls, in charge of setting everything up. So it's a position that you can't really afford to be disinterested in the meeting. But
I just love hearing Coach Reed and some of these coaches talk about their positions. You know,
I do miss coach talk. That's one thing I miss in retirement is listening to a coach install plays, motivate you for a day. Like I miss Jeff Stoutland's motive. We should have a weekly segment on New Heights, Coach Talk, and just have like a video play of like a prominent coach fire us the fuck up for the week, because those are
my favorite parts.
Those are my
favorite parts of like Hard Knocks.
Yes.
Of these like,
it's
dude, you get a coach in there, start telling guys to stop being fucking soft. Man, that's some of my favorite shit, man.
I need that stuff. I'm soft as shit without coaches telling me to do that. But listen, the offensive line is in great shape. We got Jordan. That's one of the things that's fun about for me going back is watching guys that I was there with now in elevated roles and being older guys. Like Jordan Mailata has developed into such like a great personality and leader in that building and on that team. Landon Dickerson continues to develop into that role. Cam Jurgens in his second year. Tyler Steen had a great camp. He's a guy that's always had the physical attributes to play and play well at guard, and you've just been waiting for it to click on a more consistent basis. He did that this year against Jalen Carter, one of the best defensive tackles in the NFL on a weekly basis. And then my highlight of camp, the highlight of me being there, joint practice with the Cleveland Browns. Dude, I got to watch in practice Lane Johnson and Myles Garrett go up against. I got to watch two of the best of this decade just casually doing one-on-ones and doing team drills.
Two of the best offensive lines in the National Football League, deal with the other side of the ball. Like Batonio, like everybody, like you had some specimens out there.
Yep.
Just a big old, a bunch of guys drinking beer drinking guys.
Oh yeah, Landon was. So when we went up to Cleveland, Wyatt Teller and those guys had beer waiting after practice. So I think Landon was returning the favor, even though his knee was hurt. He was unable to be out there. He was
drinking beers all practice.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's one way to rehab a knee issue. It's to drink beers. I think we all know that.
Everybody knows that. Garage beers help you.
But no, I mean,
it'll give you life.
There was a moment in that practice where I'm like sitting here, and Miles is usually over on the left side, right? He's not over on the right side, and we line up for one-on-ones. And
the offensive.
I'm sorry. I always speak from the offensive perspective,
right?
But I go out there for one-on-ones, and I see Myles Garrett lines up on the right side, and in my head, I'm like, dude, I'm about to watch like these two dudes go at it. This is fucking insane that this is happening right now. And Lane tried this tricky little set that he's been working on and got beat clean inside.
See, that's the thing, but that is also
strategy by Lane to whip this out in a one-on-one. I'm like,
well, brother, are you kidding me?
More power to you. He's like, I'm going to fully test this.
You whip it out right there in joint practice. You whip that shit out on fucking Sunday?
I'm going to fully test this out right now.
Yeah, fuck yeah. That's a clear vet right there. But that's the thing about a lot of people don't realize in these, not even just the joint practices, one-on-ones in general.
Yeah.
Guys are testing things out. So you don't necessarily get your full, like, oh, he beat him, he's better than him. Like, no, some guys are working specific techniques, You know what I mean? At the end of the day, yeah, that's the goal. I want to beat this guy in one-on-one. That's where the love of football is. Like, you get to beat a guy, the guy that chooses you man to man across from you. You know what I mean? Like, that's the love of it. But at the same time, like, don't get wrapped up in this guy's, a better player than the guy that he just beat just because, you saw a one-on-one rep. At the end of the day, the field is based off of 11 one-on-one reps, but what you really need to focus on is how they work together as a team. But obviously, when you get a guy like Lane Johnson and Myles Garrett going one-on-one, man, that's some fun.
True. That's some
fun action.
I think Myles and he wanted to go see what it felt like to go up against Lane because he had been on the left side a couple years ago to do practice.
That's why you see him go to that side. Hell yeah.
And watching that, and it was a lot during the practice, and watching those two go at it, I was just like, I don't know, man. I haven't been that giddy about something at like a practice in a long time. And it was just so cool to witness that take place, to be honest with you. I was like, man, I'm really lucky to watch these two dudes freaking do this right now. Like, this is fucking awesome. And then there's also, they still got Saquon Barkley. They still got Jalen Hurts. They still got A.J. Brown. They still got Slim Reaper. Dallas Goedert shook somebody so bad in like a tag-off drill. I mean,
sneaky elusive.
I
say
so
sneaky
underrated.
because he's 6'6", 250, 260. Sneaky elusive.
I agree, 100%. Yeah, and then watching everything that Vic, and I just have so much respect for what he did last year with that defense and how he rebuilt that thing. All those coaches on that side. Obviously, the players still had to go out there and play, but I think between Vic and Clint Hurd on the defensive line and Bobby King as a linebacker, they coach their positions so well. They can be so multiple. They'll whip zero out of nowhere. They'll play a 6-man front, then play max, like a 4-man rush and play coverage behind it. They'll play a 5-man front. They'll play a 4-man front. They do it all, and they somehow get it well coached to the point that everybody's dialed in and knows what their assignment is. And that is something that is not easy to do. So just, it's really fun to see in practice the offense have to rep all of these different things and know that when the game comes, they're going to have seen all of these scenarios already. And I think it really helps the offense be ready for when those things come up in the game.
Man, practice makes fucking perfect, man. You guys got great coaches and great players all coming back, man. But as just like we got, man, you guys got a fucking tough division out there. And
You're right.
And DC is
Giants D-line. Abdul Carter and freaking
New York.
Dexter Lawrence. Obviously, the Cowboys, obviously new head coach. Defense going back to Matt Eberflus, back to when he was with Dallas. I think that's what it's probably going to feel like. He's a little Rod Marinelli disciple, 4 down. They're going to move the front a lot, I bet. I'm excited to see how they transition to that. For the first game of the year. And then Washington. I mean, they just I was hoping they weren't going to get McLaurin signed.
Washington.
Smart job, players. Josh. Way to get McLaurin signed. That's a big one.
electric skill players on top of veteran team. Mm-hmm. You got Bobby Wagner, you got Zach Ertz, you got, two of my favorite teammates of all time in Andrew Wiley and Nick Allegretti. And I mean, just so many more guys on that team that are just, I think are going to take that team to the next level, man. And they were fun to fucking watch last year, man.
They were flying
a tough team
around.
to beat. I know we got a Monday night, man, and that's going to be it's going to be cool to see Jaden in person, man.
They were beating the brakes off of the Cincinnati Bengals in the preseason game, which Cincinnati's defense, we'll see how they do, but it's also just a preseason game.
Yeah.
They added Laramie Tunzel, which I think they're investing in everything they can do to capitalize on this quarterback while he's on this rookie contract, which was why I was so surprised that it took so long to get Terry signed. It's like, listen, guys, you got a small window here while Jaden is cheap. Like, you need to strike now. And they finally shored that up. That's a big part of their offense and their ability to stretch the field vertically. Then they have all the RPOs and the reads and the quick screens underneath that really get freed up. So it's a fun offense to watch. It's a fun team to watch, and everything being a second year in all of those systems, you'd think that they'd be far improved. So I'm looking forward to the NFC East this year. I still think it's Philadelphia's division. I think that they're the most talented team.
No doubt.
And yeah, man, I was thoroughly enjoyed going to camp.
Oh, let's get into some other stuff that you had going on in the preseason, man. You can see this T-shirt I got going on. You had the debut of Brumate 2 with Chuck Liddell.
Dude, how about that? I got knocked out by Chuck Liddell. Not many people can say that.
Dude, how cool was that meeting Chuck?
It was incredible meeting him, but it was terrifying doing this scene with him. Like, I'm like looking at him. I'm like, dude, you can just see that this dude is like, he could knock me out in a fucking second. Like, this dude is a badass motherfucker who lived it. You know, like, you can see it just in his eyes. I'm like, dude, I am like in this right now. This could go sideways in a second. I feel like
Liddell eye to eye, as if you were going to fight him. That's funny as fuck.
But yeah, it was a very fun moment. Not only to film that with Chuck, but we've done some great things with Garage Beer and the whole team that embraces these stupid ideas to just have fun, embrace some nostalgia, and just, I don't know, do things in a creative, different way than everybody else is doing them is just a blast. So shout out to everybody, Jordan, Phoenix. There's too many people to name.
You should gotta give a shout out to Honey Bobo. Always.
Honey Bobo, that's right. Bo Allen has been a big theme. I think we're just going to try and kill him off in every single thing we do now. Like, he's the Kenny, like he just dies in everything to start the NFL season. The banner will come down, in front of. It's just like whoever schedules this stuff. Roger, great job. That is a great scheduled home opener for the Philadelphia fan base.
It is one of the biggest rivalries in the National Football League, if not the biggest. And it's, they just came out with America's Team, the documentary of the Cowboys in their heyday, even though there's a lot of controversy around what's going on right now with the Cowboys. Yeah. That's never an indication of what's actually going on. Yeah, but at the same time, what's going on right now in the media with Jerry Jones it's never an indication of what's actually going on in that building.
Well, listen, since you brought it up, it is on the topic. For those of you who have been living under a rock, Jerry Jones and Micah Parsons, their star player on the defensive line, have been, they've been at it, man. Micah wants to get paid, and things have culminated into not the best scenario. Jerry Jones claims Micah Parsons' agent spiked negotiations, told us to stick it up our ass. Harsh words. Which his agent has told multiple reports, has told multiple outlets.
Is there a video of Jerry Jones saying he told us to stick it up our ass?
I don't know, but apparently
if there is. I gotta fucking hear Jerry Jones say that.
Micah's agent is told multiple outlets these claims are false. He did not say that. This whole situation, it feels so weird to me. I don't know. I get that, you might not want to pay a guy what he's owed.
I mean, he's one of the best defensive players in the league.
Actually, I don't get that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know
what there is. I don't know what the controversy is. You would think that one of the team's best players would get the backing of the organization, man. I only know one way. I've seen it happen here in Kansas City with a lot of our players, and I feel like that negotiation was always understood that, the team wants you there. If you've worked your ass off and you.
As the conversation turned toward Taylor Swift's historic Grammy Awards win, the energy in the room shifted. This wasn't celebration in the usual sense. It was reflection. Travis, a man who has played in front of roaring stadiums and lived under the pressure of championship expectations, admitted that nothing had prepared him for sitting in the Grammys audience and watching Taylor walk onto that stage. He described feeling overwhelmed, not by fame, but by witnessing years of unseen struggle finally being recognized in one single moment. What struck fans most was Travis's perspective. He didn't speak about the trophies or headlines. Instead, he spoke about the nights no one saw, the songwriting sessions that ran past midnight, the self-doubt, the exhaustion that never made it into interviews. According to Travis, the Grammys night wasn't just about winning. It was about watching someone he loved finally be seen for everything she endured to get there. Taylor, who has addressed crowds of millions without hesitation, grew noticeably emotional as she responded. She revealed that this Grammy win felt entirely different from any previous award in her nearly two-decade career. Not because it was bigger, but because she wasn't alone. For the first time, she said, she knew that when she stepped off the stage, someone truly understood the weight she had been carrying, both as an artist and as a person. The discussion then moved into deeper territory, uncovering something fans rarely hear about: fear. Taylor admitted there were moments when she worried she had gone too far creatively, that vulnerability might push listeners away. Before she could finish the thought, Travis stepped in without hesitation, offering reassurance that felt instinctive rather than rehearsed. His message was clear: growth is never excess, and honesty is never a mistake. That moment alone left many listeners visibly emotional. What made this exchange even more powerful was the contrast between their worlds. An NFL star and a global music icon, both familiar with pressure, judgment, and expectation, but in different arenas. Travis compared Taylor's Grammys moment to walking into a Super Bowl, explaining that the silence before speaking, the anticipation, and the weight of public opinion feel remarkably similar. Taylor admitted that just before delivering her acceptance speech, she thought of Travis, not for advice, but for grounding. As the episode continued, the conversation took an unexpected turn. Travis shifted focus away from the awards entirely and spoke about how Taylor had changed him. He admitted that throughout his career, strength meant emotional control. Vulnerability was something saved for private moments. Until now, being with Taylor, he said, allowed him to express pride, fear, and even tears without feeling like it weakened him. Taylor's response was quiet but deeply telling. She revealed that after the stage lights dimmed and the applause faded, she didn't feel immediate joy. Instead, she cried backstage, not from excitement, but from release. Years of pressure, reinvention, and emotional restraint finally came undone. And in that moment, Travis was the first person to reach her, not as a football star, but as her partner. For Kelce family fans, this episode revealed something new about Travis: his emotional maturity, his ability to listen, and his willingness to step back and let someone else's moment shine. For Taylor Swift fans, it offered confirmation that behind the polished performances is a woman who deeply values emotional safety and understanding. By the time the episode ended, it was clear this podcast wasn't just about a Grammy win. It was about partnership, empathy, and two people learning how to carry success together. What began in stillness ended with something far more powerful: a shared understanding that the greatest victories aren't always the ones held in your hands, but the ones shared in quiet moments when no one else is watching. And that is why fans are still talking about this episode, not because of the award, but because of what it revealed when the microphone stayed on.